No, thank you so much for that kind introduction. You never know what kind of introduction you're going to get, and so when Brother Ron asked me, he said, well, I'll be the one introducing you, I thought, we're in for trouble. I bring you greetings this morning from Guatemala, from, as we would say, Guatemala, and the church there send their greetings. We're on the same time zone as you're on right now. You'll do something next month whenever you do your time change. We don't do that in Guatemala, and but right now we're on the same time zone. So they're excuse me, they're preparing to come together to worship, and I know during that time they're going to mention us in their prayers, and so we appreciate your prayers for them as well. I am going to take you to Guatemala via PowerPoint, as we have the opportunity to do each year. And then hopefully at the end of this class period, we'll have a few minutes to entertain any questions that you might have. And as we do each year, we do what? We invite you to do what? To come and visit us in Guatemala. And for 2026, in this report, you're going to see several opportunities that you're going to have to come and visit with us. And I think, as I've told you before, anytime I ask if somebody will come and visit with us on a certain time, if you don't give me somebody to volunteer, it adds 15 minutes onto the sermon this morning. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So let's go to Guatemala via PowerPoint. We start off by showing everybody where it's located. Very small country. That as you come into Central America, the very first of the 8 Central American countries. Land-wise, we're a country about the size of Utah, and we have somewhere between 19 and 20 million people in that small country. And I say between 19 and 20 million because we have a bunch of people that live on our coastal area, the Maya Indians especially, that do not register their children. So therefore, we don't know the exact number, but they say between 19 and 20 million. Our national language is Spanish. Hablamos español allá. And in the Maya people, we have another 21 different dialects of their language. And so a lot of the Maya people, we cannot communicate with them. They cannot communicate with us because of the language barrier. But we can use the children because the children will speak one of those Maya dialects as well as Spanish. So it's a small country, but a whole lot of different things. Some of you have probably heard of the term chicken bus. Have you heard that term? Okay, we have a bunch of what they call chicken buses, and I've often asked several people, why do you call them chicken buses? And I've got several different stories, but then that's a picture of a chicken bus there, and then you see some funny things like that guy's riding in the back of a truck on a bunch of bags of water. And you see the guy on the motorcycle. Now, he's not driving the motorcycle, though, okay? He's just got a big old thing there and got the driver in front of him. But then you go down the street just a little bit, and you'll see him laying on the road because the air eventually blows him off of the motorcycle. And so, but then, of course, he'll get back on and do it all over again. But it's a very beautiful country, and you see a lot of things there in Guatemala. I'm going to take you to our family in Linda Vista. And that's where we have an opportunity to worship on a full-time basis. We serve as the missionaries there, and we're just regular members there in the congregation. This past year, most of you are aware from our report from last year, we celebrated our 25th anniversary there in Guatemala. And so this was the 25th celebration that the church gave us, and this was just before the lectureship. But we moved there in March of 2000, and we moved to Guatemala with a 2-year commitment. And so here we are 25 years later, still working with the same group. We've had several donations throughout the year to the congregation there at Linda Vista, and there was a sister from the congregation in Linden, Tennessee, that sent some shoes, and so we're always welcome. Brother Inyo, this is his last son, last child to be baptized. So we believe that as we're moving toward our 21st, and they combined it, the lectureship, also with our 25th anniversary celebration. We had several speakers, and several visitors from the United States and from other countries to come and be with us. And so you can see this is the lectureship taking place. And we had a full house just about for the entire lectureship time. And all of you know Byron, Snashana, the couple that I work with, and that's their two boys, Alex and Jose. We're still debating, were they here last year? I'm getting this and I'm getting this. Okay, so we really don't know, do we? Huh?
I think they were down in Denver.
Okay.
He says they were here.
Raise your hand if you say yes. Raise your hand if you say no. Raise your hand if you don't care. Okay, all right. I think they were here last year, and 2
years ago.
2 years ago. Okay. Okay. Well, that's them. Yeah, that's Alex and Jose, and you've watched them grow up over the last several years. They adopted them back in 2018. They were 4 and 6 years old, and now they're 13 and 11. And but then I'm gonna, when I finish this report, I'm going to send Byron a message and see if he was here last year. He probably doesn't know either, but we'll see. But the lectureship continued, went very well. We had speakers from the States. We had a brother to come from Ecuador and also served, and most of you know Brother Denny Petrillo from over at Bear Valley also served as one of our speakers. We had some local talent as well. And so we had a panel, and we had some ladies from Guatemala, some ladies from the United States that were there to do our lessons for the ladies. And so it was a very, very good lectureship. And this is just a picture of some of the visitors from a few from Guatemala, some from Texas, Ecuador, that were there for the lectureship. Now here's your first invitation. March the 19th through the 23rd. We're going to be having our 16th annual lectureship, and that's already in the works with the theme being worked on, the classes being worked on. Everything is in Spanish, but translated into English, so you'll be able to keep up with everything that's going on. So, who will come and be with us in March of 2026? Okay, that's 15 minutes I just got for the lesson. No problem, no problem. That's fine. Okay, now seriously, mark your calendar. It's a good way of coming and being introduced to Guatemala and kind of seeing the Word, relaxing, and then at the same time being spiritually fed as well as being physically fed. We have teams that come throughout the year. This past year was no different. July the 10th through the 19th. We had our annual July team, and they arrived on a Thursday, and they're from Indianapolis. 5 of them were from up at Casper, Wyoming, and 2 of them from Arizona. And so they arrived on a Thursday, and what you normally do, you come in on a Thursday, Friday's an excursion day. Saturday and Sunday, you'll do some kind of activity with the church. And also, sometimes we will invite other congregations to come and be with us. They did a small seminar for us, and the men have an opportunity to speak, serve on the table. Ladies have an opportunity to teach the classes for the children and all. And then this group also had an opportunity to visit a nursing home. That's a brand new ministry that's been opened up to us. We didn't know there were nursing homes in Guatemala. And then last year, we got our first invitation to go and just visit. And this year, we were able to take the team there. There's about 25 residents. And so now the door has been opened to where we can come in, do Bible studies, counsel, and do stuff like that. So keep that in your prayers that we'll be able to take advantage of that opportunity. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, when you come on a team, you're going to be involved in a service project. And that we've done it in an orphanage, we've worked in our school, we've worked in church buildings, public schools. They took on the mission of painting a front wall of a public school. And so you can see the work here starting, and Like I say, this was Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and it's a lot of work. The wall, you're seeing the shorter part of the wall because it gets much taller further down. Well, I'm going this way, further down here. And they have scaffolding that they use to paint, but we will not allow you to get on the scaffolding, okay? Because it's really different. I had an opportunity last year to get on the scaffolding, and it's only like a 4x4 thing that they put together, and it goes really high in the air. But I learned that on the scaffolding, it's easier to paint, okay? Because all you have to do is stand there and hold the brush, and like this, because the scaffolding goes from side to side. And you dip the brush and you just stand there, and that's how you paint. But we won't let any of you do that. But then that's before, and this is after, and that's some of the team members standing in front of the school. A lot of our public schools, even though they get a whole bunch of money, the government, from every place, our public schools get nothing. So if they don't have groups like us to go in and help them to paint, to refurbish and stuff like that, some of the schools will probably just fall apart. And so we were really glad to have the opportunity to go and to work in the school. And then on Thursday, you'll spend time, this is the second Thursday that you're there, you'll spend time visiting in some of our homes or other activities with the congregation. And so they did some visitation for some of our shut-in members. And then on Friday, you go on another excursion, and Saturday you come home. So you're about 10 days or so in Guatemala. Here are 3 opportunities you're going to have for 2026. June the 18th through 27th, we have a team that's coming from the Linda Road congregation out of Meridian, Idaho, and you're welcome to join them. June the 9th through the 18th is our July team, and then we have another team coming next year, July the 23rd through the 29th. So that's 3 more opportunities where you can come in 2026. Anybody want to volunteer to come in? Because keep in mind, that's 3 15 minutes that's going to be added onto the sermon if you don't come. So seriously, look at these dates. We would love to have a group come down from here to visit with us there in Guatemala. So look at those dates, and we'll be in touch with you about those dates. World English Institute, it's an opportunity where you can use your native tongue to help teach the gospel. And this is an organization of the Lord's Church that's on every continent of the world. And our teams for Guatemala, they come for 2 weeks. And you would ask, why English in Guatemala when you speak Spanish? Well, there's a couple of reasons. One of them is it gives the people a better opportunity for better jobs, okay, because there's a lot of call centers there, so they can get better jobs if they speak English, okay. The main reason, it gives you an opportunity to teach them the gospel. And we've had several conversions from this. In fact, the treasurer of our congregation at Linda Vista is a result of WEI. And so we have actually seen it work. And what you're doing is you're sitting down, helping them perfect their English, but you're using the Bible to do it. And you're walking with them through the scheme of redemption. Okay? So those are 2 good reasons. Another reason is because you will help them get past some things. And because I want you, this guy here, his shirt, he has no clue what that shirt says. He's a guy. Okay, and that shirt says, I haven't met Mr. Right yet. Okay, he says, I've met Mr. Rude, Mr. Cheap, and Mr. Married. Okay, but he's still looking for Mr. Right. Okay, and so if he knew a little bit of English, he would not have that shirt on. Okay, but there's one a little bit better, and that's if he knew a little bit of English, he would have his company change their logo. Okay. Yes, he wears this every day, not knowing what it's saying, okay? And so, but if we helped him with English, in fact, when we saw this, we walked up to him and we said, can we get a picture of you? He goes, yes. And he says, make sure you get my logo. And it's kind of like, that's what we want is your logo. Okay, but so lots of reasons to come and help with the English classes. This past year, we had a couple to come, and they were there the 9th through the 25th of February. Now, they're more like freelancers. It's Blaine and Terry Anderson, and they come into the country for about 2 or 3 weeks, and they travel over the country meeting with students in various areas. So if you're one that likes to freelance, you can come in February with them. And that's them traveling around, us having an opportunity to have dinner with them. But then we also have teams, 2 teams that come in the month of August. The whole month of August, they're there, one for 2 weeks, the first 2 weeks, and one for the second 2 weeks. This team was the first team, 5 ladies, 2 of them from Tennessee, 1 of them from Connecticut, and 2 of them from Texas. And here's where you stay at a nice hotel. You're there for 2 weeks. And World English Institute, they have some very professionally done workbooks. And again, you are helping them. You're not teaching English. You're helping them perfect their English, using the Bible as the main textbook, but walking them through the scheme of redemption to do that. And so it's a nice setup. And Team 2, they were there August the 16th through the 30th. And we had 4 of them from Texas, and Brother Jerry from Wyoming. And I always tell people, if you want to see something interesting, you need to come and sit in on one of these classes, watch somebody from Tennessee, somebody from Connecticut, and they're both teaching English. That's something to see, because believe it or not, we have several different types of English in the United States. And so the men on the team had an opportunity to actually preach and teach a class there at Linda Vista. And so you can see the setup. You can see they're pictured with their students. You'll have 1 student for 1 hour, and you'll have 7 students a day. And we have all that set up for you when you come. You just need to come ready to work, because it is work, but you can kind of see what they do. And Team 1 will be there August the 8th through the 22nd, and Team 2, August the 22nd through September the 5th. I don't really need any more time on my sermon this morning. I already have 2 hours and 30 minutes. And so, but this again is another opportunity where you can use your native tongue to come to Guatemala and help people with their English. We have a future preachers camp, which we'll talk about in just a few moments. But the future preacher camp is for boys. Our girls have been asking us for a long time, when are you going to have something for the young ladies? Last year we ventured out. Our ladies hosted a light bearers camp for the girls. This year they did their second camp. You can see Damaris and Snashana. Damaris was the director. Snashana served as sub-director. And they had 39 girls come to the camp. So they had about 55 or 60 people total on the campground, with the cooks, with the counselors, with the teachers and all. But this was our second camp, and it went very well. If you remember, last year, this young lady, her name is Raina, and she was baptized at the end of the camp. And she is still serving the teenagers and all very well there. And she's there at the second camp. And they do various activities. But it's trying to help these young ladies in their spiritual walk with the Lord. And our first camp, we had Sister Terry Autry, who is the secretary over at Bear Valley, actually came to Guatemala to help our ladies do the first camp. And now we had our second camp. And the ladies really did a super job at doing the camp on their own. On Sunday, they actually brought all the young ladies to Linda Vista. We had our worship service together, and I was asked to speak that Sunday, so that was I was very honored by that opportunity. And so here are the young ladies, the campers, the teachers, the counselors, and all. And so they're already making plans, Lord willing, for our third camp, which will take place in 2026. I was going to say 26. Okay. We have a preacher school, and we're connected as an extension school with Bear Valley out of Denver. And so we have five full-time staff members, and we have a lot of teachers that come from the States, also teachers that come from other parts of Central America. 2 programs of study, and the Saturday program, you can see on one side what we offer, and you can see on the other side what it takes to be a student there. And we have the full-time program, and that is no different than any preacher school here in the United States. You can see on one side what we offer, and on the other side what it takes to be a student in the school. And here are the 5 full-time instructors. All of us live there in Guatemala, and we have teachers, as I stated earlier, that will come from other areas. But since COVID, we've had a major problem with students. And students come, students leave. Our Saturday program, we have a goal of having 15 in that program. Well, we ended up having 3. And then 2, which was a couple, had to drop out because of the problem of travel and all that stuff, trying to get to the Bible Institute study. So we ended up having 1 student. And we were trying to decide, what are we going to do with the program? And 1 student is important, but then 1 student, it's just really hard having 1 student in a classroom. And so what we decided to do, in fact, this was the homiletics class, and a quarter before last, we decided to discontinue our in-person classes because a lot of people were saying, we want to study with you, but we can't come to the campus to study. So we decided to completely change our Saturday program to online. Of course, not knowing exactly how that was going to go, and so we started this. We just started our second quarter of it just last week, but before that, we had our first quarter. Well, when we opened up online, we opened up with 30 students. Yeah, and we had no clue what we were doing. We had no clue how to run an online program. We thought we were going to open up and maybe have 5 or 6 or 7 students, but we had 30 students to register for our first class, okay? And not only that, not only the 30 students, the number, but we also had students in Guatemala, we had students in Panama, we have students in Ecuador, we have students in Nicaragua that's studying in the program. We started our second quarter trying to get the kinks. Sorry about that. Not trying to tear up your building here. Trying to get the kinks out of the first, trying to get things in order. We ended up having to put a cap on it. And we put a cap on it of 35 students. And we filled the 35 with the students. So this is just kind of what the teacher is saying when they're trying to teach online. So please pray for us in the Saturday program. It's a very good problem to have, but again, we had no clue what we were doing, and right now we have about 10% clue of what we're doing. Okay, so we still have about 90% growing to do, but then pray for that program as we have ventured out in the online area. Full-time, we have a goal of having 10 students, but we fluctuated, especially after COVID. We normally take one group of students and we start them, we keep them for 2 years, and then at the end of 2 years, we graduate them, bring in another group of students. That wasn't working. So what we have done now is we have gone to open enrollment, and that's where students can enroll each quarter. And so we were having 1 student, 2 students, and so we had 4 students before we did open enrollment, and 2 of them, these 2 young men here, Fernando and Jose, they have graduated and they're in Panama. These 2 students here from Guatemala decided to drop out, and so after that, that's when we revamped and decided to go to open enrollment. Right now we have 5 on the campus, and we have about 4 or 5 that's applying and waiting for approval and all. And of these 5, 2 of them are from Ecuador, 1 of them from Panama, and 2 of them are from Nicaragua. And the ones we have in line waiting right now are from Guatemala. So again, we have a maximum of 10, and that's 10 students. That's not including those who might come with family. And when they come with the wife or with children, we're fully responsible for that. And so the maximum of 10 students, not including family and children and all. So keep us now as we're adventuring on the open enrollment with the new students. And so here the class is taking place. We also have teachers who want to teach in our short course program but can't come to Guatemala. And so here's Brother Garris Fallis, and he's actually teaching the class from Dallas, Texas, via Zoom. And then we have those who actually visit. This is Brother Lyndall Mitchell. Brother Lyndall is from Livingston, Texas, and he comes 2 or 3 times a year and teaches in the program. Our students also go on campaigns, and here's the students on their way out to campaign. And now I want you to notice this one student. We call him Mr. Cool, okay? And Mr. Cool is actually from Ecuador. And but he's, every picture you'll see him in, he's just a cool individual until he got his grades, and he's taking his sunglasses off now. And so we're seeing a little bit of a change. Here they are in San Cristobal, Alta Verde Paz, on one of their campaigns. They do 4 campaigns a year, and this is where they actually go to another congregation, most of the time in Guatemala, but during their second year study, they will go to other countries, and they actually put into practice what they've been learning in the classroom. They preach, they teach, and door knock, set up Bible studies and things like that. And so there they are working in San Cristobal, Alta Verde Paz, and doing some visitation and things like that, Bible studies. They actually got an opportunity to see some fruit from their labor. One young lady was baptized into Christ, and so this is Maria del Carmen Amalan Pop. That's her short name, and so she's being baptized, and here she is. And so they come back to the school all excited, because anytime you do a lot of work, but you get to see fruit of the labor, it's really, really exciting for them. So keep this new group of students in your prayers, and the ones that's in line waiting to be accepted to come in to study with us. We have a special need at the school, and last time we presented my last report copier. We have a projector problem, okay? And we have 2 PowerPoint projectors that we've had for over 15 years. Okay, one of them is stationed there at the school. The other one we use on campaigns and things like that. Well, they're both going on the blink. And what we've been doing, we've been shifting parts around and stuff like that, trying to keep at least one of them alive. But then one of them, after a lot of work with him, he just decided it's over. Okay, and said, I'm out of here. So we have a special need. After 15 years, we need to replace our projectors. And so this projector you're seeing now, he's actually departed the land of the living. And wherever projectors go for their eternity, he's there now. And but then we need to raise about $1,000 and to actually replace these 2 projectors. So if you would like to be a part of this special need that we have, we would definitely welcome that. And we will let you know the cemetery that you can visit when you come to Guatemala to actually see where this other one is resting. We've had several special things take place in 25. And one of them, we have Byron made a trip to Ecuador, and that's where we ended up getting some of our students. And the brethren there invited us to come. Byron went and met with the men, met with a lot of people who are interested in studying God's Word. He did a couple of seminars while he was there. One for a small congregation, and then one for just the local brethren. And so he really enjoyed his trip to Ecuador. And on the part of the school. So we're trying to revamp a lot of things with the school, trying to get the school out to other countries there. Of course, now if they're going to study in the full-time program, they have to come to Guatemala. And of course, when they're accepted and they come to Guatemala, we're fully responsible for them financially, and everything while they're there. You can be a part of the work by adopting a student in our Help Train Messengers ministry. And some of you have done that, and $50 a month you can adopt a student and help him with his studies. And so please keep both of our programs, the full-time program and the Saturday program, in your prayers. If you'd like to help with the projectors, please do that as well. We have a small table down here. Some of you have already been there. Take some of the things. There's some little change purses, ink pens, brochures and everything about the work. And as you take those items, as you use the purses, the pens and all, just let it remember to pray for us in Guatemala. And so, but then please, there's still a few things left on the table here. And so the next thing here, we talk about the Future Preachers Camp. You've heard of a Future Preachers Camp, a lot of you, right? Because Bear Valley, they have them there in Denver. They have them all over the United States. Well, we have them now. We've had it like about our 8th. We're about to have our 9th one this year. This past year, Byron, 2024, Byron's oldest son, Jose, actually was old enough to attend the camp. But the camp takes place during the time that we're traveling, visiting our supporters. But we made a trip back to Guatemala for the camp, so Jose could be a part of the camp. Byron directed the camp, and you can see various things with the Future Preachers Camp, but it's an opportunity where we take these young men, ages 12 to 21, and we're trying to introduce them to the work of the church, the work of a preacher. We have a shortage of preachers, and we're trying to encourage them to become preachers. And so we'll have men come in from various works there in Guatemala and introduce themselves and how they're working. The guys work on an outline because 2 of them are going to be able to preach for the final worship service there. They learn to lead singing. They learn to read God's Word in public. And I was telling Brother Ron this morning, they even learned how to baptize, okay? But we learned quickly with boys from ages 12 to 21, when you teach them how to baptize, you don't use real water, okay? Because some of those guys want to take the guys down but not bring them up, okay? But we always tell them, no, it's a process. You've got to come up to be saved, okay? But you can see there they're practicing baptizing people. They do various activities as well, a bonfire, take them bowling. That's Jose, and really enjoying his first camp. Here are the boys, the cooks, and the teachers. The counselors are not pictured there. And so we had one addition to the family. Hedson, a young man, 17 years old, was baptized into Christ. And I'm so proud. I'm proud of Hedson and proud to report that he is actually serving in his congregation, leading singing, leading prayers, and all that right now. Sunday morning assembly normally ends with Linda Vista congregation will rent a bus and actually take the whole congregation to the campground. And then 2 of the young men who are already Christians are selected to speak for that service. Now imagine you've never preached before and your first audience is about 250 people, okay? And so these 2 young men did a super job. And then here's some presentations taking place at the end of the camp to the cooks, to the teachers, to the campers. And then here are the boys all dressed up after the Sunday morning of service and pictured here with the teachers. And of course, the counselors are not there, the cooks are not in the picture. But then, Lord willing, we're looking forward to our next camp, and that's going to be November the 30th through December the 7th of this year. And it's right in the middle of our travel, but Byron's second son, Alex, is going to be old enough to attend this camp. So plans are that we're going to be returning for that week of camp in December. And so keep that in your prayers. Various activities. This is Callie Hagan. Callie was born in Guatemala, but adopted as a baby, just a few weeks old. But it's always been her desire to meet her birth family and her desire to serve as a missionary in Guatemala. Well, as she's gotten older, she's had an opportunity to meet some of her birth family, but she came and spent a week with us because she has a desire to come and work full-time in Guatemala. And so she was able to actually speak to the girls at the camp. She was able to speak to the ladies at Linda Vista doing one of their ladies' days. So she's back in Tennessee right now thinking about it. Exactly how she can be of help to the work in Guatemala, how she can serve. And one of her main goals is she says she was adopted, brought to the States, but one of the most important things that happened to her is that she was introduced to Christ and she became a Christian. And her goal right now is to introduce her family to the Lord. And some of her birth family, when she's there, they will attend Linda Vista. So please keep Callie in your prayers as she's working through things right now, hoping to come back to Guatemala. We have our Tuesday night Bible study still going. We've had some conversions from that as well. We have a new work in Escuintla. Everybody say that, Escuintla. Yeah, so you bilingual. See, there we go. In Escuintla, Jonathan, we actually took Jonathan off the street years ago in Guatemala. Now he's married. He's gone through the school, and he is the new preacher there in Escuintla. And this is him pictured with his wife, Oneida, and his mother, who has lived a very, very worldly life. And she has like 8 children by several different men. She is now interested in the gospel, okay? And so Jonathan is having an opportunity to share the gospel with her. That's Raina. You saw Raina earlier. These are their 2 children. Well, these one child and one monster, okay? This is Kennedy and this is Ian. Okay, most children, they're 1 year old and then they go through their terrible 2s, and then there's 3, 4, and 5. Well, Ian was 1, he went through his terrible 2s, okay? Then his terrible 3s. And now he's in his terrible 4s, okay? And his mother just told me she's afraid he's going to be in his terrible adulthood, okay? So, but he's a live wire. And but then sweet when he wants to be when he's asleep. But then really, we joke a lot about Ian, but pray for Ian. Okay, that's his name, Ian, and he's 4 years old. But the work in Escuintla, brand new, very small, and when they don't have a group like this, so it's discouraging. And so, but then they're going along and every Sunday, Wednesday, worshiping together. So keep that new work in your prayers. We had an opportunity to visit them just this past week, and so we're going right now into Jonathan's home. They fed us very well while we were there and had an opportunity to do some study with his mother. Callie was with us as well. Another place we visited is Quetzaltenango, doing a seminar for them. Snashana was invited to come to La Esperanza, and the reason for her invitation was to teach the ladies how to make communion bread, okay? Communion bread here, you guys just go buy it, but then in Guatemala it's made, and the reason is because it's very, very expensive, and the congregations can afford it. The denominations, they can afford it because when you have the Lord's Supper once a year or once a quarter or something like that, but then when you have the Lord's Supper every first day of the week, they can't afford to do that. So this is a ministry of making the bread for the Lord's Supper. And so Snashana was invited to come. A lot of ladies from around the La Esperanza area came to the seminar. And we joke about this because normally Byron is invited somewhere to speak, and Snashana goes along, and the board goes along. Okay, she's invited to do a seminar. Of course, Byron is her transportation. So they let Byron speak while he was there, so they found something for him to do. And so he was just actually there with Snashana, but that seminar went very well, but that's something very important, and especially for the congregations there. And so you can see the ladies here working that. Gabrielle and Jacqueline, his wife, he's one of our graduates, but he also serves as the full-time minister there. We're having, and we ask for your prayers with Douglas, Andrea, Ian, and Moises. having a weekly Bible study with them. They're from a denomination there. We finally got to the point of salvation. And after we studied salvation, they stopped studying. And we thought, well, I mean, they know what they need to do now. It's different than what they had heard. And but then after they stopped studying, we were afraid that, well, we probably wouldn't study with them again. Well, they called us up 2 weeks ago, and all of them have started the studies again, with the exception of Moises. And Moises has lost communication with us after we studied salvation. So keep Douglas, Andrea, Ian in your prayers as they're processing right now what they need to do to become a Christian. And keep us in your prayers that we'll say the right thing and be the right example and be able to continue to share the gospel with them. This is Luz Maria Rios. She's actually one of our English students that we're continuing to study with, but she's an attorney. And we've actually hired her to work with our Ecuadorian problem with our students, trying to get the paperwork for them. But Snejana is continuing to study with her, and so they had her in the home for dinner. They've also studied salvation, and she's Catholic. And she's having a hard time right now with the process and all of that, of what she needs to do, leaving the Catholic Church. Her family's all in the Catholic Church. So keep Luz Maria in your prayers. When they invited her into their home, she brought a friend with her, and we can't remember the friend's name, okay? And that's bad. We should remember, because of the 4 or 5 hours we spent together, she talked about 98% of the conversation. Yeah, and we can't remember her name, but whatever her name is, we're trying to share the gospel with her, but she's very, very closed to the gospel. But keep Luz Maria in your prayers. Otto and Maria, we're trying to open a door to study with them. They sell tortillas on the street. And Snejana just went by one day and said, would you like to come to our home for dinner? They were very surprised that anybody would invite them into their home. And they visited, and we're having dinner with them. But right at this point, very nice couple, but very closed to the gospel. They're involved in some Maya religion. And so, but then we're trying to keep contact with Otto and with Mari, so keep that situation in your prayers. Youth Day also at Samayak, and you can see they got a very nice building, and the little congregation there built this with their own funds. And so, and then Byron had an opportunity to speak at Freed Hardeman, so we not only speak in Guatemala, in the States, an opportunity. We serve in Germany as well. We'll be going back to Germany in about 3 weeks and to work with the church retreat there. Our main work is with the teenagers. And so that's been very, very good. And Lord willing, if you happen to be at Freed Hardeman for the lectureship in 2026, I've been invited to be the speaker. I'll be closing out that lectureship on Thursday night. So we'd love to see you there. This is the mission team. And do you remember this picture? Several years ago, right after they had adopted the boys, Jose, 6 years old, Alex, 4 years old. And so here we are now, just a little bit of a change. The boys, when they saw the picture, they said, Alex said, and you know what, said, we've gotten better looking. And said, Uncle Hi, you've gotten old. Yeah. And so that's just really, really encouraging, really encouraging. But you can see Jose is now 13, Alex is 11, and Alex is now taller than Jose. And so, but then that is the mission team, and thank you for being a part of our lives and allowing us to be a part of your lives. And so as we close this morning, any questions about the?
Byron was here last year on December 15th.
He was here? Okay.
The whole family.
The whole family.
I got the word from Jen. She just texted me and said she went back and looked.
Okay. All righty. Byron and the children and his wife were here last year, as I said at the beginning of the report. Okay? They were here on the 15th of December last year. That has already been settled. Any questions about that? Okay. Any other questions about the work? All righty. Thank you so much again for being a part of our lives, for supporting the work. I can't reiterate enough, if you can come to Guatemala and visit with us, we would welcome you. And you have several opportunities with the teams, with the English classes, with the lectureship. We'd love to see you come and be with us. If nothing else, we dismiss for now, and then I have 2 hours and 30 minutes to preach this morning. So if you have time, if you want to run out and get you a bag lunch or something like that, you can do that, okay? All righty. God bless you. Looking forward to being in worship with you.